Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Jacob Billington, and I'm here with Jack. And today we're doing a post-game summary on what's today, January 21st. Ottawa just lost 4-1 to Winnipeg, and it was definitely quite the game to be watching. What do you say, Jack?
That was probably the ugliest game I've seen in a long time, even though it's been 10 months since the game's been played. That was can't remember a game that was that frustrating to watch even last season. So
Yeah, it definitely feels like we're not too far advanced after that one, even with all the big changes we made.
Yeah, that's that game right there. I got the standings right in front of me, the updated standings, and that game makes Ottawa the only team in the North Division without a win, and that doesn't. That's exactly what all the projections were. So a lot of work to do in the young season.
Yeah, it's definitely tough with such a young team coming in. I mean, yeah, it's.
Well, the thing is, though, like they say it's a young team, but outside of that top line, and I guess Stutzlo, but outside of them, it's not a young team. It's just a new team.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. They haven't played together very much, and other than our first win against Toronto, like that's all the light that's been shown on us.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think a lot of that was showed, and Twitter wasn't a lack of hot takes on Twitter tonight, which we can get into as well.
Yeah, that's
a lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah. So just before we get into the actual game itself, I just wanted to talk about. This might be old news, but it was new to me. Murray has a new mask with the big 2D logo on the side that I saw.
Yep.
It was actually quite nice. And I'm pretty sure this was the first game he wore it. Didn't give him too much luck or anything, but yeah.
Yeah, it looked good. Looked good. I liked it.
I also wanted to mention that I don't know if you saw this, but I saw that Batherson in the warm-up, he took his last shot with 19 seconds left. He waited for that time.
Yeah, I noticed they did a little thing on Stutzla too before I think the second game, and he does like that power play thing where he circles up the top, and he does that like repetitively in warm up at the end. So I love seeing all the superstitions that players have in warm up.
Yeah, it's definitely cool to see. It makes for a good story.
Yeah.
So anyway, getting right into the first period here. The first thing I had to notice was the first thing that happened in the game was Galchenyuk took that hooking penalty, and right off the bat, he needs to be quicker on his feet. Like, we can't have he just couldn't catch up, so he used his stick, and that's
that's I think they said it on the broadcast too. He had a penalty exactly like that in the game before.
Yeah.
And say what you want about DJ playing the wrong players, but that's like earning a shift 101. That's not going to happen with you taking hooking penalties in the offensive zone.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just not going to happen. And then after that, like all I could notice for the first period at least was the Tkachuk Norris Batherson line. That was the only thing I could see all game. Like, well, not all game. That second period they were missing, but
I got that too. Their first shift, they just looked like they didn't skip a beat from the last game.
Yeah, like they're just right on track with what they were on.
Just clicking, yeah.
And one thing I noticed is that Norris always has his eyes on the net. Like he's always looking for the player out front or the shot.
That was something I think he mentioned that too, eh? Like he said he wants to shoot more, and that was after their loss against Toronto. And then like the last game he had like 10 shots or something like that.
Yeah, like he's definitely proven his point with going for the net.
It looks like he had 3 tonight that hit the net, so that's great.
Yeah, and that's like not even counting all the misses and everything.
Yeah. The other thing too about that line, they throw the body around and they're not shy to do it, and it's not just Tkachuk.
Yeah.
Batherson and Norris both had 4 hits each. All of them actually had 4 hits each.
Yeah.
Like credited hits.
You love to see them bringing the body in.
Exactly.
Like, especially such young guys.
Yeah.
So going to the first goal of the game to make it 1-0 about 12 minutes in, we have Nikolai Ehlers shooting from the point, and I think it gave Andrew Kopp the goal, I think. Like if you look on NHL.
Yeah, they were saying that the whole game.
It went clean in straight underneath the pads of Matt Murray. That was just a perfect case of player beats shooter.
Yeah.
Or goalie, sorry.
Exactly, yeah. That was probably, I had it written down. That was as I was writing down, Hellebuck looks solid, and so does Murray. And as I wrote that, he lets that one in. That's probably the first bad goal he's let in all season.
Yeah. He's looked pretty solid throughout. Pretty what we expect. We didn't expect one goal against average game and whatnot. Like, he had a rocky season last year.
And his stats, you look at it from afar, they look terrible. But how many grade A chances did he stop tonight? It was insane. I thought.
Yeah.
I thought he was really good, and he's going to need to steal games for them, and he almost did in that loss against Toronto on Saturday, and he very well could have done it tonight too if they had some more offense.
Yeah.
I thought.
He definitely had it much worse off. I'm looking now. The Winnipeg Jets only had 3 shots on Marcus Hogberg tonight.
Yeah. They packed it away in the third period, which is expected probably, but
he had a lot of tough chances against him.
Yeah, definitely. You got anything else? I got power play was lightning in the first period.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they were lights out. Like Batherson set up on that face-off dot.
Yeah,
shot.
It's so nice.
Yeah. I also wanted to add that turnover by Coburn. He's looked all right during our whole weird season that we don't know who's who.
Yeah,
and he found a good spot for himself, I think. Nobody really wants him off the team. Nobody's really saying keep him on. But that turnover with 5 minutes left in the first to make it 2-0.
He looked pretty slow tonight and pretty veteran-esque, if you want to say. He didn't look great.
Yeah,
and it's tough to defend him on games like that for sure.
Yeah. And then, the only thing I really noticed in the first other than that was that Branson was great in the offensive zone entries even. He made a few really good break-in plays, and I noticed that. I
tweeted it out. I said, is it too early to say that I love Goodbranson? And I am absolutely, I love him. I think he's just seems like a great guy off the ice, and you can say that all you want, but he's not quick on his feet, obviously, but he's a presence back there that you can't really describe. And I don't want to, it's obviously way too early to tell, but he looks exactly like what my thought was to Carlson, right?
I was just gonna say that, yeah.
And that's the purpose of why he's here. He's here to stabilize that blue line. Obviously, we can get into that to Chabot later, but he had a rough second period. But I love Goodbranson.
Yeah, he's definitely fit himself in pretty good on this team, and it works well, especially because we have Nikita Zaitsev, who, I mean, yes, only a few games into the season, but he's over a point a game right now.
He's leading the team in points.
He is leading the team in points. He's over a point a game.
Yeah,
and I think being able to have that 2 different levels of offense in a totally different kind of offense with Zaitsev and Chabot, and having them separated and being able to have Branson slip in, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, me too. I agree. I think Chabot and Zaitsev was apparently looked good early on in the season, analytically, but they're shaky at best,
Yeah.
So I love Chabot with Goodbranson, and hopefully they can sort of figure that out.
Yeah, and then the only other thing about the first period I wanted to mention is that, I don't know if you saw this, but Colin White only played 1 minute and 53 seconds.
I also had that written down. I said White, he just looked non-existent to me. And the shifts that he was playing, I didn't notice him a ton until the end of the game.
Yeah.
And that's not what you want. Obviously, he's got no legs because it's the second game in 10 months. But to an extent, you gotta see that fire under his belly. You kind of want him to be skating all over the place and doing all that stuff, but he wasn't, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, and I mean, I just want to kind of skip ahead a little bit and keep talking about Colin White here. So, I think, without a doubt, he doesn't play the next game. He was very slow on his feet, and that first penalty he took, it was pure frustration. He slashed him after he got tripped, whatever. He got the call. And as soon as he got out of the box, he skated to the net and just knocked over anybody that was in his way and caused a big scrum, which caused another power play for the Jets because Watson got sent to the box for roughing. And it's just it was so unnecessary. It was the first scrum of the game. Yes, it was probably bound to happen, but it didn't have to happen then.
It's tough. It's like I said, with the Galchenyuk thing, bad penalties aren't going to help their case.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to see a future with White on this team, but by the way that I've seen in these 2 games, I don't know. And it's been 10 months since he played.
Yeah.
still.
I think it's hard to judge with who he's playing with, and that we need to take that into account. And it's frustrating because you don't know if the coach is, but he it's not like Colin White's a new player, right? Like he had him last year, he had him all last season. He was one of the only guys who's returning this season, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a foreign player. So obviously there was a message, like there's some things being said behind the scenes, possibly like that we don't know about. But I really feel like he does need a better chance. I'd like to see him with Stützle, actually. I think that'd be a really good pairing for some reason.
I think Stützle, White, and Galchenyuk could make a really underrated line. But I don't know, because White and Galchenyuk haven't proven themselves yet this season. I don't know if you put Stützle with them.
I think once Stützle comes back, it'll be tough to keep that top line together because I feel like there's 4 high-flying offensive guys right now.
Yeah.
And it's just tough to have one loaded unit. So you might see them mix and match a little bit, which I wouldn't mind, to be honest.
Yeah, no, like I'd love to see them change some things up, especially on the defense.
Yeah.
We have Zub, we have Riley, we have Brown, we have like all these guys that we can just throw in and out and just like see what works.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so moving on to the second period here. Yeah, it started off. The first thing that I saw in the period was great. Riley blocked a shot and stayed on the ice. He was in very obvious pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, he finished his shift strong and stood there. He took a knee for a minute before he skated off the ice, but yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like the shot blocking, and I know it's always the battle. It's like, do I get in the way and risk injury or let my goalie see it? But you can, especially with the empty rink, you can hear the team. Like when someone blocks a shot, like just banging the boards like that. That's the kind of stuff that brings a team together. So it's nice seeing a lot of people laying out their body and just taking them like Riley did for sure.
Yeah, it is. And then followed by that, we have that. It was quite a nice play by Zaitsev actually in the offensive zone to pass it up to Paquette. Paquette obviously didn't score on that little short breakaway from the top of the circle, but it was quite a nice setup by Zaitsev, actually. I just want to that quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say because Hellebuck makes every save look so easy, right? But
yeah,
you want to it's tough when a player's in that tight and they don't make a move or anything, but great save by him and goes right back the other way. I think it was that same shift, no?
Yeah, it was right after that led to the other goal, which and yeah, that's the goal that really changed this game. I'm pretty sure there was a timeout called right after that goal, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been the 4th goal. But yeah, regardless, that was a nice play by the Jets. They earned that goal. It was nice setup and everything. But the Chabot gave up on the play after chasing. I don't remember who he chased into the zone, but he chased him into the zone, and then followed him behind the net, and then stood at the boards and let the loose puck just.
This was a tough period for Chabot.
It was,
and I think it's always the balance again. Like, do you want him to be taking those chances? Yes, but when they cost them, and like a team like the Jets, like their top line had 2 goals in that period, right? And they just they've torched them.
Yeah.
So,
and I see a lot of people on Twitter talking about like, oh well, where was Zaitsev? Where was Zaitsev just made that awesome play to Paquette? Like you can't say like the forwards were back playing defense for him. It was Galchenyuk and Stefan that they just got walked through for that open pass for that goal on the side of the net. And yeah,
I think that last one of the goals, anyways, they kind of all blurred together in the second, but
yeah, they really did.
One of them at least, I remember it was Goodbranson who got tangled a guy in the corner. And I saw some takes on Twitter. They were just like, "Oh, what's Goodbranson doing and stuff?" Well, it's like he's taking a guy, he's doing his job, and it's the gamble you take when you're Chabot's partner, and it's not like they're going to be perfect together. So it's just frustrating. It's frustrating for me personally seeing people, taking their anger out on the veterans, when it's like the young guys are also making a lot of mistakes, right?
Yeah, like they have so many chances. Like they all had to earn their spot on this team, but it can be taken away. Like Josh Norris might not finish this year on this team. He will.
No,
if he's not playing up to standards, then he won't.
I think Norris has been pretty good personally, and I think that
I do too. That was
Smith is showing. Yeah. But I know what you mean. Yeah, it's not like you have a job forever. It's you got to work for it every time, and like that line, like as good as they are, you know, it says that they were -1, but I feel like they were on for another goal. I can't remember, but like they had a couple shifts where they were hemmed in as well.
Yeah.
Especially in that second.
A few times that the whole top line just couldn't get out of their own zone.
Yeah.
And when they did, it was just right back down the ice.
Mm-hmm. It's tough to. Yeah. One thing though, like on that, so another thing that was going around on Twitter, was the ice time distribution. So that's where people start coming for DJ's head already in Game 4, and it's just obviously from a glance you see that, you know, Connor Brown, Nick Paul, and Tierney led the team in ice time, or led the forwards anyways.
Yeah.
Maybe not Tierney. Well, not Tierney because Paul and Brown were killing penalties, and they had 6 penalties.
And then the third period, Paul was up on the third line instead.
Right. So that's obviously going to happen. Your top players don't play on the PK. So that's a little frustrating. Obviously, because when you take penalties, it'll take your top players off the ice.
Yeah, it's hard because like Tkachuk, Norris, and Batherson, there's no time for them on the ice. We were in the box the whole game.
Exactly, and then once they're off the ice for so long, they lose their legs.
Yeah, and I mean, Tkachuk was a madman out there today. Like he was going after everybody.
I love that stuff. 4-0 game, why not, right?
Yeah, and he's proven his point. Like,
he
can't just roll over us like that and take us lightly and think we're not going to do anything about it.
Exactly, and the best part about this division is they're playing them again on Friday or Saturday. Sorry.
Saturday,
yeah. So.
Yeah, and then so that's all I have for the second period. I think. I mean, other than just a general observation of the whole first half of that period, felt like it was in our end.
Yeah, all I have is ugly period and Shabbat -3. So that's what stood out to me. And although again, Murray not stood on his head, but just made a lot of saves where you're like, okay, that could easily be a goal, right?
Yeah, like we got what we expected out of him in that kind of game. Like if you're going to get those shots on him, he's going to let those goals in. It's easy as that. And going right into the third period. Speaking of Matt Murray, Marcus Hogberg starts the period. Murray on the bench. I didn't realize that the extra goalies had to wear their masks.
Yeah, all the coaches and everything too, and the trainers and
the coaches. But I never because I don't think I've seen a picture of Matt Murray or Marcus Hogberg yet this season. Actually,
yeah. I guess they gotta sit there and wear those. Yeah,
I think that's, I don't know. I mean, all about the safety and everything and protection of the league, but
a lot of it I think is for show.
Yeah, I agree. The third period. Winnipeg only gets 3 shots on Marcus Hogberg. As we'd all hope, he saved them all.
Yeah. No
quality chances for Winnipeg during that. They were just pretty much playing lockdown that period. Yeah, this type of period, like when they're up 4-0 going into the third. That's why looking at the broad stats is tough, because like the shots were even at 29, and that wasn't the story of the game. So it's basically just a way for the Senators to kind of get their legs back under them, I guess, and kind of show that they're not going to keel over, which is good. You like to see it. Yeah, and then one of the first things that happened in the period was Tkachuk going after Jansen Harkins, and just when the camera cut to him, I thought he jumped him right away. I didn't know they were giving it back and forth to each other at first. And yeah, usually that's the case though. It's Tkachuk just going at it. Of course, yeah. Just the beginning of his night. Like, he was just starting to have fun there. Yeah, that was every time. Like, I think he was mixing it up a little bit at the end of the second. Yeah. And I can remember a couple games last year where I'm like, okay, this guy's going to kill someone next period. And it's funny to see to me. Like, obviously, because if you're playing against the Sens, it's like you want to rip his head off. But it's like Brad Marchand. I'm not saying exactly the same. It's Brad Marchand, but the scenario is the exact same. Yeah. You put the guy on your team, you hate him on any other team. Exactly. And I mean, the same goes for Matt Tkachuk. If I wasn't an Ottawa fan and he wasn't Brady's brother, I would hate him.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a full dose of the Tkachuk.
Oh, that's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's why this division's so great, right? It's it's gonna be tough for them, but man, they get to put their stamp on a few teams around the league that they wouldn't otherwise get.
Yeah, and I mean the whole teams aren't gonna listen. Oh, he's my brother. Don't go out there and
no.
They're
both going.
It'll be fun to watch.
I fully expect the two of them to fight at least once this year.
At least once, or I'll be disappointed.
Yeah, same.
After that, Tkachuk got the extra double minor for that, and when Ottawa was shorthanded, actually Connor Brown almost scored a goal, and all you saw was Connor Hellebuyck just laying on his back and hoping for the best, but he happened to be on top of it. So, I mean, just figured I'd mention that break.
I really like Connor Brown on the PK.
Yeah, I do too. I think
he's great.
Paul makes one hell of a line.
I think they're awesome, and sometimes I'm watching Tierney, and I feel like the only expendable part of that line is Tierney.
Yeah,
just because Paul and Brown play together on the PK and stuff, and they've got a good chemistry going. But
yeah,
I feel like if you have to move some stuff around, and obviously with White and Nisimov in and out of the lineup, it moves some stuff around, and maybe eventually they move Stützle to the center. I feel like he'll be the one to move off that line, but yeah, they're great. I love watching them. They just go to work and they always have the puck on their stick. Pretty much, it's fun to watch.
And it just goes right to them. Like it, obviously they work hard because they always have the puck and they're always generating chances and making awesome defensive plays and everything. But I don't understand it. Like it's like the puck just goes right to them.
Yeah, it's kind of. They're all really good positional players, it feels like, and they're in the right spots, which is what you want as a perfect third line. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
It's the perfect third line. They're not going to do anything too flashy, but they can give you good minutes and put the puck in the net when they need to.
Yeah, and I was going to say the same thing. Like, obviously, Chris Tierney isn't Anthony Cirelli or anything for a third line center.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Tampa Bay could have won the cup last year with that as their third line.
Yeah, no, they definitely. And I think, Zaitsev doing really well this year is kind of puts it to rest a little bit. But the deal was the Leafs get Zaitsev off the books and take CC back, just change the scenery. But we have to pay Zaitsev for the next 3 or 4 seasons. But Connor Brown is quite the sweetener, I find.
Yeah,
yeah.
And Zaitsev, it's $4.5 million, but it's not $8 million. It's not 7.5 or anything.
It's doable.
He's not healthy scratch every game. I don't think he's been a healthy scratch in Ottawa.
I don't think so either.
So that's pretty good to talk about there. Next was when I laughed when this happened because I really thought Austin Watson was going to turn around and just flip on him, but Josh Morrissey went behind the net and just broke his stick over Austin Watson.
Yeah,
I was expecting some sort of reaction, but I'm glad he didn't because we got the power play out of it, or we got the 4-on-4 for a minute.
That kind of looked like his stick was already broken. He didn't look like he hit him too hard.
Oh, I didn't look too much into it. I just kind of thought it was funny.
Yeah, they kind of showed a slow motion, and I'm like to break a stick over a guy's back, it has to be pretty hard, right? But Watson is just a farm animal. He
fits in. He's not as talented as Brady Tkachuk.
No,
but he plays the same style as Brady Tkachuk and Eric Branson and Nick Paul and just all these guys. We just have such a gritty team that knows how to play together.
And he can be pretty fast when he wants to.
Oh, yeah.
Which is part of the reason why Paquette is so hard to watch sometimes, is just because he can't really skate as well.
Yeah.
But Watson can motor, which is fun to watch as a fourth line guy just going around throwing hits.
Yeah, because there was one spot in the third period. Somebody dumped it down, and Hellebuyck came out to play the puck in the corner, just in the trapezoid. And Watson just came flying down the ice.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, oh my God, where's this speed coming from?
I thought it was going to be a Ryan Miller and Milan Lucic.
I was expecting something like that too. Austin Watson. I was like, he's gonna hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Other than one thing in the third period that I saw Galchenyuk on the power play, I don't remember how much time was left in the game, but on our last power play, the puck came right out to the right side, right into the circle. Hellebuck was out of position, but so was Galchenyuk. He was like up at the top of the circle, and the puck just came wide open to him in the middle of the circle, and he missed it because he wasn't in position. And that was pretty frustrating to watch out of somebody that I know can score goals.
Yeah. From that, like the top of the circle there on the power play.
Yeah.
It sucks when a rebound sneaks out and it looks like they're so close, but it's such a quick split second decision that it's tough to. Yeah, but it's definitely frustrating.
Yeah. Anyway, so shall we move into the 3 stars of the night?
Yeah, let's do it. You go ahead.
Well, first off, I want to say Matt Murray for my 3rd star. He played pretty good. He played what we could expect out of him. He obviously wasn't lights out. He only played 2 periods, but I think it's noteworthy because there wasn't a team playing in front of him. My 2nd star, I'm gonna have to go with Nick Paul. He just everywhere all the time, just making so many plays that you don't look at, just the ones that you need to have success.
The little plays, the little things.
Just the little ones, yeah, exactly. And he makes a lot of them, whether they show up on the score sheet or not. They haven't in the past so much, but he's finding his place on this Ottawa team. And my 1st star of the night would probably have to go to Nikita Zaitsev. Honestly, he made a lot of good defensive plays that I was able to notice, and a lot of good offensive plays. And he wasn't in the box too much. He wasn't a liability at many points in the game, I don't think. There were a few times he might have been out of position, but who wasn't tonight? And yeah, that's pretty much what I got.
All right. We got 2 for 3 there. I got Murray as my 3rd star as well. Like I said, I thought he kept them in. It sounds cliche, but he kept them in the game when they weren't necessarily in there. I thought that he made some pretty good saves. Like the one stinker, obviously that sucks, but you can't expect him to be perfect.
Yeah.
My 2nd star, I got Zaitsev because, like you said, like obviously the point at the end of there kind of tips it off, but I thought this is kind of like an overall star for me. I thought he's had a great start to the season.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned, I saw it on Twitter, that DJ Smith was the defense coach in Toronto with Babcock, and that was for Zaitsev rookie season, and that was a good season for Zaitsev. So someone was saying that maybe DJ got to him about just sticking to what he was beforehand, and that'd be great because if that could stick, that's a huge bonus for this team moving forward, especially since I think they have like 10 players under contract beyond this season, and he's one of them.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and my 1st star is Connor Brown. Yeah. Because kind of like Nick Paul, like he looks like Brown led the forwards in ice time by quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he had 18 minutes. The next closest was Nick Paul, actually had more, but both of those guys were great tonight. They were just doing what they're going to do, and the best part about those two is they're going to bring it every night, even in a terrible game like this.
Yeah, so exactly. 3. And yeah, so just real quickly before we end this, I'm back to that Nikita Zaitsev. I didn't know that, and I'm looking here. Nikita Zaitsev put up 38 points in his rookie season.
Yeah.
If we can get that Nikita Zaitsev to play on that second pairing and have Goodbranson and any of Josh Brown, Artem Zub, Mike Riley, any of them that fit well, that's a good top 4.
That's not perfect, but they're not going to get run over all the time, And if you get Brandstrom coming up there too, they did a little intermission piece on him.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it sounds like he's going to be up after the road trip, so that's exciting. It's stuff to look forward to, which is what a rebuild is all about.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. This has been the recap for the game on January 21st between Winnipeg and Ottawa, in which we lost a very deserving game 4-1. So this is New Era Sens with Jack and Jacob. Take care, everybody.
See ya.